Lisa Grant sat in the corner of the observation deck, watching the stars move past the large window. The alien ship called Harmony's Edge was bigger than anything she had ever seen before. The metal walls were smooth and covered with strange symbols that glowed softly in the dim light. She had been on this ship for 3 weeks now, and she still felt like she was living in a dream. 3 months ago, Lisa had been a simple scientist on Earth. She studied animals and plants, nothing too exciting. Then the government asked her to join a secret mission to space. They told her that aliens had made contact, and they needed someone who understood life on Earth. Lisa thought it would be the adventure of her life. She was right, but not in the way she expected. The mission went wrong from the start. Their small Earth ship broke down just after they left the solar system. Most of the crew died in the accident. Lisa and a few others managed to get into escape pods before the ship exploded. She floated in space for days, thinking she would die alone in the darkness. Then the alien ship found her. The aliens were not what she expected. They looked nothing like the green creatures from old movies. The captain, Zorthake, was tall and thin with blue skin that seemed to shine. His eyes were large and kind, and he spoke in a voice that sounded like music. The other crew members were even stranger. Some looked like living crystals, others like giant flowers with arms and legs. But they were all gentle and peaceful. Dr. Kexthar was the ship's animal expert. He had purple skin and moved very slowly, like he was walking underwater. His job was to study the animals on different planets. When he learned that Lisa was from Earth, he became very excited. He had been studying the signals that came from her planet, and he had many questions. "Your world is very strange," Kexthar said to Lisa one day. They were in his laboratory, surrounded by screens showing pictures of Earth animals. "We have never seen anything like these creatures before." Lisa looked at the screen. It showed a house cat sitting in a sunny window. The cat was orange and white, and it looked perfectly normal to her. "That's just a cat," she said. "They're pets. People keep them in their homes." Kexthar's large eyes grew even larger. "This creature is kept inside human homes, but it is clearly a dangerous hunter. Look at these sharp claws, these pointed teeth, and these eyes. They are designed for seeing in the dark. This is obviously a stealth attack unit." Lisa laughed, but then she saw that Kexthar was completely serious. No, she said. "Cats are harmless. They catch mice sometimes, but mostly they just sleep and play. Children love them." The alien scientist made notes on a glowing tablet. "Humans allow their young to interact with these weapons? This is very concerning. Perhaps humans are more dangerous than we thought." Over the next few days, Lisa watched as Kexthar studied more Earth animals. Each time, he saw something that terrified him. A golden retriever playing fetch became a pack-hunting assault beast with loyalty programming. A dolphin jumping in the ocean was classified as an aquatic warfare specialist with advanced targeting systems. Even a small bird was labeled as a high-speed reconnaissance drone with natural camouflage. Lisa tried to explain that these animals were not weapons. She told Kexthar about pet stores and zoos, about how humans loved animals and protected them. But the more she talked, the more worried the alien became. "This is worse than we thought," Kexthar said after she described a dog show. "Humans are not just creating these biological weapons. They are training them, breeding them, and making them compete against each other. This is clearly a military program." Lisa felt helpless. She realized that the aliens came from a very different kind of world. Kexthar explained that on his planet, the most dangerous predator was a slow-moving creature that ate plants and only fought when cornered. Most of the animals on his world were gentle and peaceful, just like the aliens themselves. "In our part of the galaxy," Kexthar said, "the Biggest threat might be an animal that can run as fast as a human walks. But these Earth creatures, they are incredibly fast, incredibly smart, and incredibly adaptable. They are like nothing we have ever seen. The situation got worse when Kexthar showed his research to the ship's council. The council was made up of representatives from 12 different alien species, all of them peaceful and all of them horrified by what they saw. Captain Zorthik spoke for the group. Dr. Kexthar, are you certain about these findings? This planet Earth is really producing biological weapons? I am completely certain, Kexthar replied. The evidence is overwhelming. Not only are they creating these dangerous life forms, but they are also living alongside them. This suggests that humans themselves might be the most dangerous species of all. Lisa stood up from her seat. Please, you have to listen to me. These aren't weapons. They're just animals. They're part of our world, and we love them. We would never use them to hurt anyone. The crystal-like alien named Rindle spoke up. Dr. Grant, we understand that you believe this, but the evidence speaks for itself. These creatures are clearly designed for warfare. The question is not whether they are weapons, but whether your species created them intentionally. The Council voted that same day. Earth would be classified as a biological weapons manufacturing planet and placed under immediate quarantine. No ships would be allowed to visit Earth, and no humans would be allowed to leave. The galactic community would be warned to stay away from the dangerous planet in the Sol system. Lisa felt her heart break as she heard the decision. She thought about her family back on Earth, about her friends and colleagues. They would never know what happened to her. They would never know that the rest of the galaxy existed. And it was all because of a terrible misunderstanding. As the meeting ended, Lisa made a decision. She would find a way to change their minds. She would prove that Earth's animals were not weapons, and that humans were not monsters. She had to, because the future of her entire species depended on it. That night, Lisa stood at the window of her small room, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, now cut off from the galaxy forever. But she was not giving up. She would find a way to bring her two worlds together, no matter how long it took. 3 months had passed since the Council's decision to quarantine Earth. Lisa had spent every day trying to convince the alien scientists that they were wrong about her planet. She wrote reports, gave presentations, and answered endless questions. But nothing seemed to work. The aliens were too afraid to change their minds. Then Jake Morrison arrived on the ship. He had been floating in space for months in a damaged escape pod before another alien vessel found him. Jake was a marine biologist from Earth, and he had been part of the same mission as Lisa. He was tall and strong, with kind eyes and a calm voice that made people trust him. Lisa, thank God you're alive, Jake said when they brought him to the ship. I thought I was the only one left. Lisa was so happy to see another human that she almost cried. Jake, I'm so glad you made it, but we have a big problem. The aliens think Earth is dangerous. They've quarantined our whole planet. Jake listened as Lisa explained what had happened. His face grew more serious as she talked. So they think our animals are weapons? He asked. That's insane. We have to show them. They're wrong. I've been trying for months, Lisa said. But they won't listen. They're too scared. Jake thought for a moment. Maybe we're approaching this wrong. Instead of telling them our animals are harmless, maybe we should show them. Actions speak louder than words. Lisa's eyes lit up. You mean bring some animals to meet them? But Jake, that might make things worse. What if they panic? It's worth the risk, Jake said. If we can show them that we can control these animals, that we live with them peacefully, maybe they'll understand. Lisa spoke to Captain Zorthik about the idea. The captain was nervous, but he agreed to let them try. We will do this in the biodeck, he said. It is designed for studying dangerous creatures safely. But if anything goes wrong, we will end the demonstration immediately. The biodeck was a large room with thick glass walls. It was filled with plants and had a small pond in the center. The aliens could watch from outside while Lisa and Jake went inside with the animals. Lisa and Jake had found some Earth creatures in the ship's specimen storage. There was a golden retriever named Max, an orange tabby cat called Whiskers, and a small terrarium containing a praying mantis. These were the gentlest animals they could find, saved from their original mission. "Let's start with Max," Lisa said. "Dogs are friendly and loyal. If they see how gentle he is, they'll understand." The council members gathered outside the biodeck. There were 12 of them, representing different alien species. They looked nervous and kept their distance from the glass. Dr. Kexthar was taking notes, and several other scientists were recording everything. Lisa opened Max's travel cage. The golden retriever jumped out, tail wagging and tongue hanging out. He was excited to be in a new place and immediately started sniffing around the room. To Lisa, he looked perfectly normal and happy, but the aliens had a very different reaction. 3 of the Vorthic scientists fainted when they saw Max. The others backed away from the glass, making frightened sounds. Captain Zorthic's blue skin turned pale, and his large eyes were wide with terror. "Look at the size of those teeth," Dr. Kexthar whispered. "And see how it scans the environment with its nose? It's gathering tactical information about the room." Jake tried to calm them down. "He's just curious," he said. "Dogs explore with their noses. It's how they learn about new places." But when Max saw the aliens through the glass, he did what any friendly dog would do. He ran toward them, barking happily and wagging his tail. He jumped up against the glass, trying to greet the visitors. The aliens screamed and ran away from the window. Emergency alarms started ringing, and the biodeck went into lockdown mode. Red lights flashed, and thick metal barriers started to close over the glass. "Stop!" Lisa shouted. "He's just trying to say hello. He's friendly." But the aliens couldn't hear her over the alarms. Jake quickly put Max back in his cage, but the damage was done. The aliens were convinced that they had just witnessed an attack. "Did you see how fast it moved?" Dr. Veltar, the ship's behavior expert, said when things calmed down. "That was clearly an assault pattern. The creature was trying to break through the barrier to reach us." "And those sounds it made," added Dr. Kexthar, "those were obviously battle cries. This confirms everything we suspected about these biological weapons." Lisa felt sick. Those weren't battle cries. That was barking. Dogs bark when they're happy or excited. Max was trying to be friendly, but the aliens wouldn't listen. They had seen what they expected to see, a dangerous creature attacking them. Lisa realized that their fear was making them interpret everything wrong. "Maybe we should try something smaller," Jake suggested. "What about Whiskers? Cats are calm and quiet." Against her better judgment, Lisa agreed. They brought out the orange tabby cat. Whiskers was sleepy and moved slowly, which Lisa hoped would seem less threatening. But again, the aliens saw something completely different. When Whiskers stretched and yawned, showing his teeth, the aliens gasped in horror. When he sat down and started grooming himself, they were amazed by his flexibility and precision. "Look at those retractable claws," Dr. Kexthar said, making more notes. "And see how silently it moves? This is clearly designed for stealth operations." The worst moment came when a mechanical bird that was part of the room's decoration started moving. Whiskers, acting on pure instinct, crouched down and started stalking it. His eyes focused on the bird, and his whole body became tense and ready. "To pounce! Battle position!" shouted Dr. Veltar. "The creature is preparing to attack." The lockdown alarms went off again, And this time they didn't stop until Whiskers was safely back in his cage. The aliens were more frightened than ever. "This is worse than we thought," Captain Zorthix said after the demonstration ended. "Not only are these creatures weapons, but they are weapons that can switch from peaceful to deadly in an instant. This makes them incredibly dangerous." Lisa and Jake looked at each other in despair. They had made things worse instead of better. The aliens were now more convinced than ever that Earth was a threat. Dr. Kexthar presented his updated report to the Council that evening. "Based on today's observations, I recommend that we upgrade Earth's threat level to maximum biological hazard. These creatures are not just weapons. They are adaptive, intelligent weapons that can change their behavior instantly." The Council voted unanimously to accept the recommendation. They also decided to send a warning to the Galactic Defense Force, suggesting that Earth might need to be monitored by the military. Lisa sat in her room that night, feeling hopeless. She had tried to show the aliens that Earth's animals were gentle, but instead she had convinced them that they were even more dangerous. She thought about Max's happy face and Whiskers' sleepy purr, and she wondered how anyone could see them as weapons. Jake knocked on her door. "Lisa, we can't give up," he said. "There has to be another way." "I don't know what else to try," Lisa said. "They see what they want to see. Their fear is stronger than any evidence we can show them." "Maybe we're thinking about this wrong," Jake said. "Maybe we shouldn't be trying to prove that our animals aren't dangerous. Maybe we should be trying to prove that we can work with them safely." Lisa looked at him with new hope. "You mean show them that we can control these animals? That we're not helpless victims?" "Exactly," Jake said. "We need to show them that humans and animals can be partners, not enemies. But we'll need the right situation to prove it." Neither of them knew that their chance would come sooner than they expected. In the depths of space, a distress signal was already racing toward their ship, carrying news of a crisis that would change everything. After the failed demonstration, Lisa and Jake were confined to their quarters. The aliens were polite but firm. They couldn't risk any more incidents with the biological weapons. Lisa spent her days staring out the window, watching the stars, and trying to think of a solution. Jake paced back and forth in his small room, frustrated by their helplessness. But they weren't completely alone. Dr. Rindle, the young crystalline alien, had been watching the humans with great interest. Unlike the others, she wasn't afraid of Lisa and Jake. She was curious about them. Her species communicated through light patterns that danced across their crystal-like skin, and she had been studying human behavior since Lisa first arrived on the ship. One evening, Dr. Rindle came to visit Lisa. Her crystal body glowed softly in the dim light of the corridor as she approached Lisa's door. "Dr. Grant," she said in her musical voice, "may I speak with you?" Lisa was surprised. None of the aliens had wanted to talk to her since the demonstration. "Of course," she said. "Please, come in." Dr. Rindle entered the small room and sat down, carefully. Her species was fragile, and she had to be careful not to break. "I have been thinking about your situation," she said. "I believe my colleagues are making an error in their judgment." Lisa's heart jumped with hope. "You don't think Earth's animals are weapons?" "Oh, they are definitely weapons," Dr. Rindle said, and Lisa's hope crashed. "But I don't think that's the important part. The important part is that you control them." Lisa frowned. "I don't understand." Dr. Rindle's crystal body flashed with different colors as she explained. "In our part of the galaxy, if a creature is dangerous, you stay away from it. You don't go near it, you don't try to interact with it, and you certainly don't keep it in your home. But humans do all of these things. You live with creatures that could kill you, and somehow you make them love you instead." Lisa began to understand. "You mean the fact that we can live with these animals is what makes us special?" "Exactly," Dr. Rindle said. "My colleagues are so focused on how dangerous your animals are, they're missing the amazing part. The amazing part is that you can work with them. You can make them your friends. This is something no other species in the galaxy has ever done. Jake had been listening from his room next door. He knocked on the wall and called out, "Can I join?" "This conversation?" Dr. Rindle agreed, and Jake came over. "So you're saying we should stop trying to prove our animals aren't dangerous?" he asked. "Yes," Dr. Rindle said. "Instead, you should prove that you can control dangerous things, that you can work with them safely. That would be much more impressive." To the council, Lisa felt a spark of hope. "But how do we prove that? They won't let us demonstrate again." Dr. Rindle's crystal body dimmed with sadness. "I don't know. But I wanted you to understand that your situation isn't hopeless. You have an ability that no other species possesses. You just need to find the right way to show it." Over the next few days, Dr. Rindle became a regular visitor. She shared more insights about how the aliens thought and why they were so afraid. She also brought news from around the ship. The communications officer, Amy Chun, has been monitoring signals from your planet, Dr. Rindle told them one day. The council is very disturbed by what they're seeing. "What kind of signals?" Lisa asked. "Moving pictures from your entertainment systems." But they don't understand that these are entertainment. They think they're watching training videos. Jake groaned. "What have they been watching?" "Nature documentaries," Dr. Rindle said. "They think these are instruction manuals for biological warfare. They saw one about sharks and declared it a aquatic assault unit training program." Lisa put her head in her hands. "This keeps getting worse. There's more," Dr. Rindle continued. "They've also been watching what you call pet videos. They think these show humans practicing weapon bonding protocols." Jake actually laughed, despite their situation. "So they think cat videos are military training films?" "Yes," Dr. Rindle said seriously. "They are particularly disturbed by something called puppy training videos. They believe these show humans programming biological weapons for specific missions." Lisa realized just how deep the misunderstanding went. Everything humans did with animals looked like weapons training to the aliens. Their love for pets looked like military planning. Their care for wildlife looked like weapons development. "Dr. Rindle," Lisa said slowly, "what would it take to change their minds? What would we have to show them?" The crystal alien thought for a long moment. "You would need to demonstrate that you can use these abilities for good, that you can solve problems that we cannot solve, that your connection with dangerous creatures makes you protectors, not destroyers." "But how?" Jake asked. "They won't let us leave our rooms." Dr. Rindle was about to answer when the ship's emergency alarm started. Blaring, all three of them looked up in surprise. The alarm was loud and harsh, and it meant that something was seriously wrong. Captain Zorthik's voice came over the ship's communication system. "All crew to emergency stations. We have received a distress signal from Mining Colony 7. Colony is under attack by space pirates and is requesting immediate assistance." Lisa, Jake, and Dr. Rindle looked at each other. This was not good news. Space pirates were dangerous criminals who attacked peaceful colonies to steal valuable resources. They were ruthless and violent, and they didn't care about the coalitions. Peaceful principles. "The nearest defense fleet is 3 weeks away," Captain Zorthik continued. "Colony 7 reports that they cannot hold out for more than a few days. We are the only ship close enough to help." Lisa felt her heart sink. The Harmony's Edge was a research vessel, not a warship. It had no weapons and no soldiers. The crew were scientists and explorers, not fighters. They would be helpless against space pirates. But then Jake grabbed her arm. "Lisa, this is our chance." "What do you mean?" she asked. "Don't you see? They need help with something dangerous, and we're the only ones who know how to handle dangerous things. This is exactly what Dr. Rindle was talking about. Dr. Rindle's crystal body flashed with excitement. He's right. This could be the opportunity to prove that humans can use their abilities to protect others. Lisa felt a mix of hope and fear. But we only have a few animals with us, and they're not trained for combat. We don't need them to fight, Jake said. We need them to help us think differently than the aliens do. We need to show that humans and animals working together can solve problems in ways that pure technology cannot. The ship shuddered as Captain Zorthik changed course toward the distressed colony. Lisa knew that in a few days they would arrive at a crisis that could determine the fate of both the colony and their own future. Are you willing to try? Dr. Rindle asked. Are you willing to risk your lives to save the colony and prove that humans can be trusted? Lisa looked at Jake, and he nodded. They both knew it was their only chance. Yes, Lisa said. We'll try. Dr. Rindle's crystal body glowed brightly with hope. And I will go to the captain. I will tell him that you want to help. I will tell him that maybe the very thing that makes your species dangerous is also the thing that can save us. As Dr. Rindle left to speak with the captain, Lisa and Jake began to plan. They had less than 3 days to figure out how to use a dog, a cat, and a praying mantis to help save an entire colony from space pirates. It seemed impossible, but as Jake said, they had to try. The future of human-alien relations depended on it. Captain Zorthik stood in the center of the ship's command bridge, his blue skin darker than usual with worry. The distress signals from Mining Colony 7 were getting weaker, which meant the pirates were winning. His crew of peaceful scientists looked at him with frightened eyes, waiting for orders he didn't know how to give. Captain, Dr. Rindle said as she entered the bridge, I have a proposal. Unless you have found a way to turn our research equipment into weapons, I'm not sure what you can suggest, Captain Zorthik replied sadly. The humans want to help, Dr. Rindle said. They believe they can use their abilities to solve this problem. Several crew members made worried sounds. Dr. Kexthar stepped forward. Captain, I must advise against this. The humans are dangerous, and their biological weapons are unpredictable. We cannot risk it. With respect, Dr. Kexthar, Dr. Rindle said, our current plan is to arrive at the colony and watch it be destroyed. The humans offer our only chance to save those people. Captain Zorthik was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. Bring them to the bridge. Let me hear what they have to say. When Lisa and Jake arrived on the bridge, they could see Mining Colony 7 on the main screen. It was a small settlement on an asteroid, with several domed buildings and mining equipment scattered around. Smoke was rising from some of the buildings, and they could see small ships flying around the colony like angry insects. The pirates, Skarn, Captain Zorthik explained. They are aggressive and violent. They attack colonies like this to steal rare metals and crystals. The colonists are Melonians. They are peaceful plant-eaters who have no way to defend themselves. Lisa studied the screen. How many pirates are there? Our sensors show about 20 Skarn warriors and 5 attack ships, the captain replied. They have surrounded the colony and are slowly breaking down the defenses. Jake nodded thoughtfully. And the colonists? About 50 Melonians, mostly miners, and their families. They have some basic shields around their buildings, but nothing that can stop a real attack. Lisa looked at Jake. They both knew this was their chance, but it seemed impossible. How could they fight 20 armed pirates with just a dog, a cat, and a praying mantis? Captain, Lisa said, we don't have weapons or soldiers. But we have something the pirates have never seen before. We have the ability to work with Earth creatures in ways that might confuse and frighten them. You want to use psychological warfare? Captain Zorthik asked. Exactly, Jake said. The Skarn have probably never encountered anything like Earth animals. If we can make them think we have some kind of advanced biological weapons, we might be able to scare them away. Dr. Kekstar made a disapproving sound. This is exactly what I was afraid of. The humans want to use their weapons against other species, to save innocent people, Lisa said firmly. Not to hurt them, but to protect them. Captain Zorthik made his decision. Very well, we will try your plan. But if things go wrong, I will order an immediate retreat. The next few hours were busy with preparation. Lisa and Jake worked with the ship's engineers to create special equipment for their mission. They designed a small reconnaissance drone that could carry the praying mantis, and they prepared special communication devices that would let them stay in contact with Max and Whiskersdot as they approached the colony. Lisa felt her heart beating fast. She had never been in a real battle before, and she was scared, but she was also determined. This was their chance to prove that humans and animals could work together to protect others. The Harmonies. Edge landed on the far side of the asteroid, hidden from the pirates. Lisa, Jake, and their animal companions prepared to leave the ship. Max was excited and ready for adventure, his tail wagging as Jake put on his special harness. Whiskers was calmer, sitting quietly in his transport carrier. The praying mantis, which they had named Scout, was secured in the small drone. Remember, Captain Zorthik said, your job is not to fight the pirates directly. Your job is to create confusion and fear, so the colonists can escape or call for help. Lisa nodded. We understand. We'll do our best. The first part of their plan worked perfectly. Jake used Max's incredible sense of smell to locate the pirates who were hidden around the colony. The dog could smell the scarn from hundreds of meters away, something that the aliens' advanced sensors couldn't do. There are 3 pirates hiding behind that rock formation, Jake whispered into his communicator. Max can smell them clearly. Lisa released Scout in his drone. The praying mantis flew silently through the colony, using his amazing eyesight to spot enemies that were hiding in the shadows. The pirates had never seen anything like Scout before, and when they caught glimpses of him, they were terrified. What is that thing? One of the Scarn pirates screamed over their radio. It looks like some kind of alien surveillance weapon. Whiskers proved to be the perfect stealth operative. The cat moved silently through the colony, using his natural climbing abilities to reach places that would be impossible for humans or aliens. He was able to disable some of the pirates' equipment by simply walking across their control panels at the right moment. But the real breakthrough came when the pirates tried to attack the colony's main shelter. The building was full of frightened Melonians who had no way to defend themselves. The pirates were about to break down the door when Max and Jake arrived. The Scarn warriors were tough and aggressive, but they had never faced anything like a golden retriever. Max's speed and agility were beyond anything in their experience. He moved faster than their eyes could follow, and his bark was unlike any sound they had ever heard. It's some kind of biological weapon, one of the pirates shouted. It's too fast. I can't target it. Jake used Max's natural protective instincts to herd the pirates away from the shelter, just like the dog would herd sheep back on Earth. The pirates were so confused and frightened that they didn't know how to respond. Meanwhile, Lisa and Scout had found the pirates' command center. The praying mantis was small enough to slip through the air vents, and his ability to stay perfectly still made him invisible to the pirate sensors. When Scout appeared suddenly in front of the pirate leader, the effect was devastating. Demon! The pirate leader screamed. There are demons on this asteroid. The combination of Max's speed, Whisker's stealth, and Scout's frightening appearance was too much for the pirates. They had expected to face defenseless colonists, not mysterious creatures that seemed to appear and disappear at will. But the final victory came from Lisa and Jake themselves. The humans' ability to think quickly and adapt to new situations was something the pirates couldn't match. While the Scarn were still trying to figure out what was happening, Lisa and Jake had already moved on to the next phase of their plan. "All pirate ships, this is the Earth Defense Force," Jake announced over the pirates' radio frequency. "You are surrounded by our biological warfare units. Surrender now, or face the consequences." The pirates had no idea what the Earth Defense Force was, but they had seen enough of Earth's biological weapons to be terrified. They had never encountered anything that could move like Max, hide like Whiskers, or appear like Scout. Within an hour, the pirates were in full retreat. They abandoned their attack on the colony and fled into space, warning other pirate groups to stay away from the system where the demon creatures had been deployed. The Malonian colonists were saved, and they were amazed by what they had seen. The peaceful plant eaters had never imagined that such creatures could exist, but they were grateful for the protection. "The humans and their companions saved us," the colony leader told Captain Zorthik. "We thought we were going to die, but these Earth creatures drove away the pirates like they were nothing." Back on the Harmony's edge, the alien crew looked at Lisa and Jake with new respect. They had seen how humans could work with their animals to solve problems that seemed impossible. "I was wrong," Dr. Kexthar admitted. "These creatures are indeed weapons, but in the hands of humans, they become tools for protection, not destruction." Captain Zorthik nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps we need to reconsider our understanding of Earth and its people." Lisa petted Max's head as the dog rested beside her. "We don't see them as weapons," she said. "We see them as partners. And that makes all the difference." The ship turned away from the colony and headed back towards civilized space. But everything had changed. The aliens had seen that humans and their animals could be protectors, not destroyers. The question now was whether the rest of the galaxy would be willing to accept this new understanding. 2 weeks after the rescue at Mining Colony 7, the Harmony's Edge arrived at Coalition Central Station. The massive space station orbited a blue star and served as the headquarters for the Interstellar Biological Survey Coalition. It was here that the fate of Earth would be decided once and for all. Lisa stood at the observation deck, watching the station grow larger as their ship approached. The structure was enormous, with thousands of windows glowing like stars. Ships from dozens of different species were docked at various ports, and she could see aliens of all shapes and sizes moving through the transparent corridors. "Nervous?" Jake asked as he joined her at the window. "Terrified," Lisa admitted. "Everything depends on what happens in that council meeting." Jake nodded. "But we've proven our point. We showed them that humans and animals can work together to protect people." "I hope it's enough," Lisa said. Dr. Rindle approached them, her crystal body glowing with soft blue light. "The council has reviewed all the reports from the colony rescue. They are very impressed with what you accomplished." "But?" Lisa asked, sensing there was more. "But changing the classification of an entire planet is not a simple matter," Dr. Rindle continued. "There are political concerns, safety protocols, and centuries of precedent to consider." The council meeting was scheduled for the next day. Lisa and Jake spent the evening preparing their presentation, with help from Dr. Rindle and, surprisingly, Dr. Kexthar. The alien zoologist had become one of their strongest supporters after witnessing the colony rescue. "I have been studying your species for months now," Dr. Kexthar said as they worked together. "I realized that I was looking at everything from the wrong perspective. I was so focused on the individual creatures that I missed the most important part, the relationship between humans and animals." The next morning, the council chamber was packed. Representatives from over 30 different species had gathered to hear about Earth and decide its future. Lisa felt small as she looked at the diverse crowd of aliens. Some were tall and thin, like Captain Zorthik. Others were crystalline, like Dr. Rindle. And still others looked like living plants or geometric shapes. At the front of the chamber sat the High Council, made up of the oldest and wisest members of the coalition. Their leader was an ancient being called Elder Mortek, whose species was so old that no one remembered what their home planet looked like. "We are here to reconsider the classification of the planet Earth," Elder Mortek announced in a voice that sounded like wind through trees. "Dr. Kekstar, please present your updated findings." Dr. Kekstar stood up, his purple skin glowing with determination. "Honored Council, I must admit that my original report was based on incomplete information and cultural bias. I classified Earth's creatures as biological weapons because I judged them by our own standards of what is dangerous." He activated a holographic display that showed images from Earth. But this time, instead of focusing on teeth and claws, the images showed humans and animals working together. There were pictures of police officers with their dogs, farmers with their horses, and children playing with their pets. "What I failed to understand," Dr. Kekstar continued, "is that humans have developed a unique ability. They can form partnerships with creatures that would terrify any other species in the galaxy. This is not weapons manufacturing. This is the ultimate form of interspecies cooperation." Captain Zorthik then stood to give his report about the colony rescue. He described how Lisa and Jake had used their animal companions to save 50 innocent lives. He explained how the humans had turned what seemed like dangerous creatures into tools for protection and rescue. The pirates fled not because they were facing superior weapons, Captain Zorthik said, but because they were facing something completely outside their experience. They were facing a level of cooperation between species that they could not understand or counter. But not everyone in the council was convinced. Ambassador Vexler of the Kethany Empire stood up to speak. His species was known for being cautious and suspicious of anything new. "This is all very impressive," Ambassador Vexler said. "But how? Do we know that humans will always use these abilities for good? What if they decide to use their biological weapons against us?" Lisa felt her heart sink. This was exactly what she had been afraid of. But then Jake stood up. "Ambassador Vexler," Jake said, "I understand your concern, but I want to tell you something about humans. We have been living with these animals for thousands of years. In all that time, we have never used them to conquer other species. We have used them to help each other, to explore new places, and to protect those who cannot protect themselves." Lisa stood up beside Jake. "The animals you call weapons, we call family. We don't control them through fear or force. We work with them through love and trust. That's why they help us, and that's why we would never use them to hurt innocent people." Elder Mortok was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. "Dr. Grant, Mr. Morrison, would you be willing to demonstrate this partnership one more time?" Lisa and Jake looked at each other and nodded. They had brought Max, Whiskers, and Scout to the station, just in case. The animals were brought into the council chamber, and Lisa could hear gasps and worried whispers from the alien observers. But this time, the demonstration was different. Instead of trying to show that the animals were harmless, Lisa and Jake showed how they could work together as a team. Max demonstrated his ability to find hidden objects using his sense of smell. Whiskers showed his incredible balance and agility by navigating a complex obstacle course. Scout used his keen eyesight to spot tiny objects that no one else could see. Most importantly, all three animals showed their trust in their human companions. When Lisa called, Whiskers came immediately. When Jake gave a command, Max obeyed instantly. When either human was nearby, all the animals were calm and relaxed. "You see," Lisa said to the council, "they don't obey us because they fear us. They work with us because they trust us, and we trust them in return." The council deliberated for hours. Lisa and Jake waited outside the chamber, pacing nervously while alien delegates argued about Earth's future. Finally, Elder Mortok called. them back inside. "The Council has reached a decision," Elder Mortak announced. "We are changing Earth's classification from biological weapons manufacturing planet to symbiotic cooperation world. We recognize that Earth represents a unique, evolutionary path that has produced the galaxy's first successful interspecies partnership civilization." Lisa felt tears of joy running down her face. Jake grabbed her hand and squeezed it tight. "Furthermore," Elder Mortek continued, "we would like to invite Earth to join the coalition as our newest member. We believe that humans have abilities that could benefit the entire galaxy." The chamber erupted in cheers and applause from most of the alien delegates. Ambassador Vexler still looked skeptical, but even he nodded his approval. Captain Zorthek approached Leza and Jake with a smile. "Congratulations. You are now officially Earth's first ambassadors to the galactic community." Over the following months, everything changed. The quarantine around Earth was lifted, and the first alien ships began making peaceful contact with human governments. Lisa and Jake worked to establish protocols for introducing Earth animals to alien species, always emphasizing the importance of understanding and cooperation. They created the Terran Cooperation Institute, where aliens could learn about Earth's animals and humans could learn about galactic civilization. The Institute's first class included police officers with their dogs, marine biologists with dolphins, and even a falconer with her hawk. Dr. Kexthar became the Institute's first alien instructor, teaching courses on interspecies communication and understanding predator-prey relationships. Dr. Windle established an exchange program where young aliens could visit Earth, and young humans could explore the galaxy. The most surprising development was the creation of the Galactic Peacekeeping Corps. When other colonies faced threats that conventional coalition forces couldn't handle, human-animal teams were called in to help. Their unique approach to problem-solving and their ability to adapt quickly to new situations made them incredibly effective peacekeepers. Max became something of a celebrity throughout the galaxy, the golden retriever who had once terrified alien scientists was now known as the dog who saved Mining Colony 7. Children of dozens of different species had toys that looked like Max, and his image appeared on posters promoting interspecies friendship. Whiskers preferred a quieter life, but he became the unofficial mascot of the Coalition's Stealth Reconnaissance Division. His picture was in training manuals, and spy agencies throughout the galaxy studied his techniques. Scout the Praying Mantis was given his own special position as Senior Reconnaissance Specialist aboard the Harmony's Edge. His incredible eyesight and patient observation skills made him invaluable for scientific missions. But perhaps the most important change was in how different species viewed each other. The humans had shown that beings who seemed completely different could work together if they approached each other with respect and understanding instead of fear. A year after first contact, Lisa stood on the observation deck of Earth's first space station, watching alien ships arrive and depart. Humans and aliens worked side by side, and she could see Earth animals help